All right, let's talk hardware. So let's come on into my office here. I'm gonna give you guys an unfiltered view of my office. And you're thinking, well, hold on a minute, Vinny, what's up with this filter then? Why don't you get rid of that? Okay, welcome aboard. Hi, my name's Vinny Mini, and I like to do trading. If this is your first time with us, you've been missing out. This is my office. Now, your office does not have to look like this, so let's just start right there. Do not be panicked about it. And yes, I think some of the lighting in here is probably a little bit blown out here in the video camera there, but just here it is. If you guys have questions, put it down in the comments down below of what you see around here. Over here on the right, kind of got some of my kids' stations over here where they do some Minecraft and gaming and learning, stuff like that, where they can be in here with me. I like to have, you know, them have the opportunity to be in here with me when we're doing things. Of course, I've got everything from a multi-screen setup that I call a professional grid. 6 screens is a professional grid to me. If you are wondering about that, I'm going to get straight into things here today. This is going to be part 1 of 2. We'll go into details in another video. If you guys want to see the individual videos and individual pieces, I'm going to give you the high level here today for those of you guys who need a quick tour and what you need. On the far left over there, that is a 135-inch projection screen, and right over here, my gaming station is now a 55-inch OLED right over there, and you guys may or may not be able to see that, but I'm going to talk about 2 different sizes of desks here. If you guys are wanting to pick one up, if you already have a desk, I'm going to make suggestions for things that you are going to need, in my opinion, as a professional trader trying to do this as a full-time business. If you are going to do this as a business, do it seriously. Take yourself seriously. Take a look at my office. Does it tell you that it is serious? I think that it does, and you need to do that as well. You don't have to have all the craziness around it, but a few LED lights here and there, or some ambiance of lighting, however you want to do it. If you want to take a more serious approach with lamps and lighting, it is important that you take yourself seriously. And remember that your psychological components that are going into trading before you warmed up, before you're getting in at your desk, do matter. And also those that are going to be around you. You need to take into consideration your family, your friends, the people who are going to be around you. Are they going to take you seriously as you approach this endeavor? It is a difficult endeavor and one that you want to be prepared for. So without further ado, let's talk about hardware and desks. So starting right there with desks and chairs. So the chair that I am sitting in, let's see if I can also give you an unfiltered view of this as well. Let me take off the background. Here we go. Here is the starting out with your chair in comfort. Now around me, I have 3 desks. I have a small desk on the right, on the left, and then one in the back. The main one that you need is the one in the back. We're going to talk about sizes and things of that sort, but let's start with the chair because the chair also matters. I do recommend that you get a chair with arms. I like the ones that you can put up or put down. I think those are important, and there's a really inexpensive one there on Amazon. I will post the link to that one as well, but it needs to be comfortable. It needs to be able to swivel around. You know, pretty cool stuff like this. Here we go. Here's a look at my chair. Okay, there it is. And I think this one might have been $300 tops. Doesn't have to be super expensive, but it does need to be comfortable for you to be able to be sitting at your desk for long periods of time. And I think adjustable stuff, being able to go up and down, make sure that you put your feet flat. We can go down, we can go up. I kind of need it at the highest level. I'm about 6'1", so that is, you know, everybody needs to adjust on their own, okay? Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. Let me come into, now what does my desk space work like? Let's come right into this one here first. All right, so when you're sitting at your desk, distance and being able to see most of the stuff that's in your purview, in your periphery vision, you don't need to be able to see, you know, all the way to the right. You can take a little glance to the left, a little glance to the right, but what you don't want to be doing is having to crane your neck around to see things. That's a bad idea. This is what I believe is called a professional grid. You do not need this. Okay, not right now. Now later on in the future, maybe you want to go to this, but I'm going to show you guys an alternative. This is a professional grid over the last decade of time, I think, well, multiple decades really. This is probably going to be your absolute ideal. However, now with the invention of OLEDs and 55-inch TVs that have 4K resolutions, I'm going to show you guys some alternatives to that that are going to be much less expensive and get the same effect. Okay, let's go into, so the desk itself. This back desk right here is actually 78 inches from IKEA. The top, I believe, is about $75. The legs, I think all in total, this desk is probably about less than $125 for this piece. And that is a inexpensive but quality level setup from IKEA. And we have a video around that. I'll go over that in a detailed video later, but I want you guys to know the dimensions. Let's come on into the desktop workspace and talk about individual dimensions. All right, so the back of this one, again, this is a 78. I do recommend the bigger one. The bigger the better, in my opinion. Okay, so 78, this is what I have on the biggest, but also a 55. Now, I'm gonna keep this real simple. I'm not talking about a 55-inch TV, but we are also talking about 55-inch TV. We are talking about desk size here, okay? These are your desk sizes. I do not think you should go less than this size right here. This is the absolute least. 55-inch is what I have over there on the left, and it is a 55 by 30. So deep, it's about 30 inches. It does not need to be 30. The shorter one on this one that I have here is about, I believe this is the 24 inches deep, but you don't want to go less than that either. On my left side, I have a little miniature 18-inch show off on the side. Maybe you have some narrow ones on the sides, but for your main, to be able to have the proper depth, to be able to have the angles that you need, you're going to need a 55-inch desk with a 55-inch TV. Now, let's talk about that, okay? The TV size. TV needs to be a 4K resolution. It needs to be at least 60 hertz. These are the minimums first that we're talking about. Okay. Now, I like the 120, so if you can get 120 hertz, we can talk about that in maybe the detailed video, but that's going to be an OLED, and they're going to be more expensive. You do not need to buy an expensive TV to make this happen, and you will see why here in just a moment. And this is going to be, I recommend a 55-inch. However, I would say minimum. I have tried 43s. I think you really struggle at 43. If you get a 43, I'm not going to ding you on it, but the price points at where we are these days, I think you should upgrade it. A 48 is also okay if you find a 48. I've got a 48-inch OLED over there, but I did end up ditching it. I spent literally 2 months using it to make certain, like, okay, do I really like the 55 better? I'm one of those obsessive people where I will try out everything. Okay, so 48 absolute minimum, 55 recommended. And now a lot of people have said, well, what about a 65? Any of you know, is bigger really better? Do not go 65. 65, you start having to crane your neck too far and too high. You don't want to do that if you're going to be putting it in a desk setting. This is the ideal, and don't go beyond that. Okay, the 55-inch desk, remember 55 is a little bit of elusive because we are talking about this. Okay, so the 55-inch desk for the minimum is from here to here. Okay, that is for a desk. For a TV, it's different. A TV is measured from angle to angle, top side to bottom side, from here to here. Okay, that is a 55-inch across in diagonal. So it is not going to be, it's not 55 across here. But the edges of that 55 fit just about right with a few inches gap left over on your desk. I know this is not drawn to scale, but I just want to make sure you guys know the difference. When I say 55-inch TV, that is 55-inch diagonal, and 55-inch across on a desk is the actual desk length. And again, this direction from here to here is going to be 24 minimum, 24-inch. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to make this official here. So 24-inch up and down, and the 55-inch across. All right, we got that out. Now, as far as examples, I'll show you guys from one of my videos. You want to go, relatively inexpensive. You don't have to spend a lot. Again, you can spend as much as you want on these. I'm here to show you guys the ideal, and with these IKEA desks, they're really going to give you the flexibility. Like it's so inexpensive, you don't mind if you're going to drill some holes. Like if you want to make a hole right in the middle of the desk, you get your drill, get your hole saw out and put it right in wherever you want to put it. You're not going to be like upset because you ruined some multi-$1,000 desk. This one you can cut up, chop up, do what you want with it. This entire set piece is $264. That is with the drawers and everything. You can do it like this, or you can do the 4 legs like this. This is actually what I have right here in black, right here at my desk right now. Okay, it's got a center one right there, but it just gives you all the space to work with. You've got space to put your, for me on the left, I've got my computer over here on the left. I've got lots of space around the back to be able to put my UPSs, cabling, and all that kind of stuff. And I still do have a sliding drawer over here. If you guys have seen that, I don't know if you guys can see it in there, but there is a set of drawers over here, and it's on a roller that is not pinned to the desk. I can literally roll this out if I want to, which is nice for the versatility that also brings. On my right side, Left side I've got for my PC. You see the glowing Continuum case here. Again, I really do like the Cuck Continuum case, Computer Upgrade King, USA.com, and I've got a video around that if you guys want to pick up the PC that I have as well. And as of this date, 10900Ks, relatively inexpensive, great PCs, although our system now, with the performance boost that we have put in, now can be running on an i3. As low as an i3, we've got some folks running on i3s, although I recommend absolute minimum is probably an i5, and you can get those for very inexpensive. Somebody the other day just got a whole gaming machine for 600 bucks, and that can now run our system quite fine. But again, more is more on the speed. We'll talk about that when you talk about full auto and running backtest optimizations. But if you're just executing as a gold member using Cyborg, any low-end machine is now going to be just fine. Okay. So this whole thing is $154, but I did want to show the differences there, and really inexpensive there at IKEA. Again, you guys have other suggestions for desks, hey, put them down in the comments down below. But if you're asking me, I've done a lot of looking around and things, and I just think that these type of setups are the best. Now, this is not the way that my setup is over the drawers. I would say that these tend to, in my opinion, kind of limit you if you do this, where you put them on there, although they give you some more stability. It really is up to you on that, but the desks that are stuck right there, with the drawers that are stuck right there, maybe you like that. Me, it wouldn't work, because on the left-hand side, I wanted my other side desk, so I'm kind of doing a whole U around me, so those wouldn't work for me. But if those work for you, fantastic. You can have those where these actually function as the legs of your desk, and with the centerpiece there to make sure, because again, this is a very long desk, 78 inches. You'd be surprised at how long that really is, and to be able to support the base weight of everything that you're putting on your desk, you want to have that. Okay, so starting with our base of our desks and our hardware there, I think this is, this gives you some good ideas. The legs are inexpensive. They've got ones that are adjustable in height. If you want to spend a little bit more on the legs, you can have ones that can adjust up and down by a few inches. So up to you how much you want to spend on that, but you do not have to spend and break the bank to get yourself a nice desk. But I do think that you need to start with a good desk, a good chair, and then we talk about layouts. All right, so let me bring over layouts for hardware. If you are thinking about doing our system, I do recommend this is really the ideal. Without the 6-grid setup, that also requires, again, if you're doing a 6-grid, it's going to require you to have multiple video cards in your computer to do what I have here. You have to have at least 2, and if you're going like, more than what I have here, 12 screens, you're gonna have to have 3 video cards in your computer. It's very, very difficult, very costly to start putting setups together like that. But again, at some point, if you want to do that, there's pros and cons. We'll go into details on that in other videos. But in general, you want to get a 55-inch center with flanking verticals. Okay, that is our ideal. You are keeping everything in about a 30 or 45 degree angle left and right. Anything farther out than that is cranking your neck a little bit too far. This is really going to maximize your ability to see what we've got here. Now let me show you guys what is the absolute minimum. Now here's one, somebody actually matched up the edges. If you're wondering, well, how tall or how big these need to be, so what pairs well with that is, so you have a 55-inch center, pairs well with 32-inch diagonals on the left and the right. Okay, those two setups right here. Now again, this member has, additional screens over here. Really cool, really cool setup, but unnecessary. So pretend like these aren't here, okay? But again, still nice setup here right in the center to be paired with 32s, and you notice how it matches up on the edges perfectly from top to top here, right? So if you want yours completely symmetric, then you want 32s. Again, this one, it does not have to be. It's still a beautiful setup here, right? But this might bother some people, so these are probably like 27s instead of the 32s. So if you are trying to like match it all up and maybe matchy, then you'll want to expand on that. Okay, so and remember that those are measured diagonally. People have a lot of questions about that. So in a scenario like this, not exactly ideal. I think I've encouraged our buddy here to turn that one vertical. I know he's got a laptop right here. Now we used to not recommend laptops, but now our system, we have boosted our performance by 80%, and Algobox is running flawlessly on those machines. Again, each time, there's slight differences. I like this, kind of looks like the X-Wing, a little bit bigger on the sides. I think the center might be a little bit small. You're gonna have to lean in on this one. But if you're super, real young and you got great eyesight, then great. I'm in my 40s. Here's my general rule of thumb. Okay, if you're in your 20s, Okay, you can use 20-inch monitors. In your 30s, you should be using 30-inch monitors. 40s, you're in 40s, and you know, we continue to go up there. Although the ideal is still going to be right there in general. Now, I'm not talking about 20s, like actually use a 20 here. Let me talk about why the 55 is necessary. So the 55 in a center piece is actually the equivalent of 4 27-inch monitors. That right there. Okay, so this is like having diagonal to diagonal. Let's see if I can do, oops, not that one. That one, 1 second. There we go. All right, so from diagonal to diagonal here, this is equivalent to a 27-inch monitor, which I do believe is the minimum for anybody to really be able to see what we need to be able to see. And so that's going to be 27-inch from there to there. And of course, the whole thing, this is inside of a 55-inch diagonal. So if each one of these is 27, you're getting 4 27-inch monitors in one pick. And it only requires one cable, right? One HDMI or one DVI cable. Lots of cool things about that. One video card to handle all of that, but still getting the equivalent of having 4 monitors in one. Isn't that awesome? So if you do this in the center, right, you've got 4 monitors, and now you flank it. Oops. If you flank it with the other 2, well, now you are at a 6-grid professional setup. You guys kind of get that? Pardon my terrible drawings here, but there we go. Okay, so now you have 6 monitors, right? And what did I tell you about? What was a professional setup? A 6-grid, right? I call it a 6-grid, and you're gonna have those 6 screens, gonna give you the visibility, and for very inexpensive. Some of you guys already have a left side and a right side monitor at home. You probably already got 2 monitors. Fantastic. Turn them vertical, and you're good. Now, you might need a monitor arm for that. Monitor arms, you know, are a dime a dozen. There are lots and lots of selections on those. It doesn't really matter. You know, pick one, and get it for your setup. If you get the size desk that I told you to get and the types of desks that I get, clamping will also be easier. What am I talking about with clamping? So on the backs of these desks, you are going to want to mount, like, picture very, very thin bezel here. So let me make sure you guys understand what this is here. Okay, so we're talking about this. Okay, this, if you've got a big desk that's a big flat back or whatnot, you will not be able to you'll not be able to clamp onto it. And the way that these monitor arms work, they're really nice to be able to put a clamp, like if this is the back of the desk, it will clamp like this and have potentially, you know, an arm that might come out over here to hold your monitor on the left, and have one over here on the right. Again, excuse my terrible drawings, but hopefully you guys get the idea. And then oftentimes this one has, yeah, a little cross X-wing thing to get you so you can mount in a center screen as well, although you don't need that one. You're just going to lay your TV right there on your desk, and you have the left side, right side one. Or if your monitors come with the stands and can flip right up and you got enough room on the desk, you will not have enough room on that 55-inch desk. You will need that larger 78-inch desk in order to do that. So just keep those things in mind as you are laying out your desk. And again, laying out a good desk space for yourself, I think, is going to be important to take yourself seriously, to sit down at your desk and be there. And it's like running a restaurant. If you're going to run a restaurant, yes, I mean, technically you have a kitchen at your house, but are you really going to run a restaurant out of your mom's kitchen? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get professional. You're going to lay out and you have commercial equipment and things of that sort. So take yourself seriously with your trading. This is still okay set up here. You know, there's all kinds of diverse options, but if you're asking me what I suggest, and this is the absolute minimum, a 5-screen setup in my opinion, because this way you're going to get your 4-grid here where we can divide out. We've got 4 instruments that we're going to be laying out. We're going to have our ES, RTY, YM, and the Dow. I'm sorry, RTY, NASDAQ, Dow, and ES. You guys get the whole thing. We've talked about that. We'll get into the whole thing about the 4 instruments that we primarily trade. Left side is going to be your higher time frame charts like this. Everything laid out right here. The only thing missing is over on the right. It would be awesome if you had these, because we need to divide this into 3 sections where we can have Discord. We've got 3 sections of Discord that you want to have. You want to have the public chat, you want to have the MacV Ultimate, and you want to have your news feed over here on the right. Okay, so that is the absolute ideal, although you can fit these in, you know, using alt tabs and maybe putting another laptop off on the side to do Discord, but you'll have some difficulties of being able to copy and paste screenshots and things of the sort. This member has a really cool, look at this, that the tools do the work, created a custom mouse pad down here with our logos and all that kind of fun stuff. Great setups there. You guys can check all these out on the left-hand side of our Discord if you guys want to, you know, tickle your fancy and see what people have set up in their layouts. This is still, again, the when people ask like, well, what's the minimum? This is the minimum. You need one on the left so you can see all of the high time frames and all that. So basically all charts. You know, you're just missing Discord, but if you know, are on a budget type of thing and you just can't get that other monitor for whatever reason, this is what you want, where you've got 4 and a 1 off on the side to get the ideal for our layout. Now again, not absolutely necessary. Folks, we've got folks who are trading on a laptop, single screens, but if you are looking to where we are going, and if you're taking yourself seriously, I have to tell you what I would suggest. A lot of folks are taking me up on that. Great stuff here. Computer setups here on the left-hand side of Discord to go look at all of the cool layouts. There are all kinds of things about monitor choices. We'll probably do a separate video on monitor choices, but the short answer is this. You do not need anything fancy. What kind of TV you need, it really does not matter. Any TV these days will work. As far as the settings, you're going to set the TV into gaming mode, which is basically to eliminate any kind of lag. You don't want any of those TVs that have the, well, it's not going to matter what you actually purchase for it. We can make any of these work. We will just play with it with the gaming settings. We have technical support, myself or anybody else in the crew here. Lots of folks with experience around these things. So just ask in the public room if you have any questions. Just basically get your best deal on a TV. We've seen them at Walmart for as cheap as like 250 bucks. Absolutely insane how cheap that the screens are getting these days. So there's really no excuse. This layout, I know you might think it's expensive. It is very much not expensive at all. And now that you can buy the PCs, you can spend 500 bucks on a TV now. 500 bucks for basically almost the entire layout here if you are going on the cheap, getting that one for 250. And these, sometimes people are giving these away on the sides, but if you're spending about 100 bucks each on those, you can get the whole layout and all set up and everything for about 1,000 bucks, maybe 1,250 on the high side for just the PC equipment. Then throw in your desk and whatnot. You're talking about maybe spending less than $1,500 for the overall setup with what we're looking at there. Now, again, if you guys have suggestions or hardware suggestions, hardware is changing all the time. This is our current suggestion. If you watch some of my old videos, make sure that you have done the updated video. This one is more important. If you see my old videos, please ignore those, because in the past you needed a beefier machine. You needed, we didn't have the options of OLED 55s and things that were just out of price point, but now the world has changed, so we are doing updated videos on all of our stuff here. Hopefully that is helpful to you. Try to keep this one short. We will do another detailed video on some of the individual things like monitors, sizings, and choosing a monitor between IPS and all of that to kind of showcase those. You guys probably already know most of that stuff anyhow if you've been around any kind of gaming stuff and whatnot, but I will say that you do not need what you need for gaming. If you are a gamer, great. I mean, we like to come in here and we do some games and stuff as well. So if you want to kind of mix your match to do both, that's great. But when it comes to trading, we don't need super high refresh rate screens, although they are easier on your eyes. But anyhow, hopefully that is helpful to you guys. Thanks for hanging out here with us here this evening. Hope that's helpful, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis, G, and the rest of the gang, I am sitting out the big H-Town. See ya.